Peace, YouTube. Y'all know who this is, man. EK back in the building. Another day to be great. Another day for another tier list, man. Let's get it. So, this is gonna be the playmaking tier list, as y'all can see from the title. I have made a slashing and a shooting one already, and there will be a defensive one coming up in a few days. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to. There's been a lot of patches drop in. I finally really extensively played on all play styles and with all play styles on my team. I've tested every badge, so this is a great time for me to drop this type of info. As y'all know, it's, you know what I'm saying, I'm somebody that wins a lot on this game, plays a lot of different game modes, experiences a lot of play styles, so I'm not just, you know, saying random things. I also do pay attention to certain things like 2K lab tests and 2K2 tests, but I don't focus on those too heavily, because, you know, a test is a test, but the eye test is the most important one. So let's get into it, man. As always, the chapters for if you want a specific badge will be listed, but, you know, watch the whole video. It ain't that long, whatever. Anyway, so first things first, we got ankle breaker. Now, ankle breaker, it's not a bad badge, but I wish it worked how it did in the old 2Ks, where it would activate off of you doing actual combos and actual dribble moves. And on this game, it only works in combination. It gives you ankle breakers if you have Space Creator on and ankle breaker on. It'll give you those step back animation ankle breakers, or on snatchbacks, or on weird stop and go left stick direction changes. You know what I'm saying? If you play in a bummy way, you'll get ankle breakers with ankle breaker. But generally speaking, it's not a good badge to have. Comp players don't use it, and it's only something if you have extra badge points. If you're on next gen, it is always tier 1 to my knowledge. So I mean, it's cheap, so you can put it on if you have some extra badge points. I don't know why you would, but you definitely can, and it'll give you goofy animations off of simple basketball moves if you're into that. So Bailout's an easy S tier. There's no arguing with that on this game. It's a badge that's dominant on bronze. I think on most builds it's a tier 2. I don't know of any builds on next gen that it's a tier 1 on, and y'all have, you know, whatever the cost is for y'all on current gen. But Bailout allows you, with how OP rim running is in this game, it allows you to just completely decimate defenses when they do pick up on you or try to rotate, pass out of the shot. I personally use it on my point guard with high passing on silver. It's a little better than bronze. I'm going to try it on gold later on in the year if I get extra badge points or legend or whatever. But on any level, it's a great value. It changes how you play the game. You can also hit him with the fake pump fake. You know what I'm saying? Pump fake and start your shot. Then the defense will crash off your teammates and then pass out to them. That's a great move to do. You know, everybody falls for it, even great players. So it's all around a versatile badge, and it helps you do what a playmaking badge should, which is change how you approach the facilitating part and the dribbling part of the basketball. So break starter, it does work. Now, the fast break in this game is annoying, and while it's not a necessary badge, it does work. So I'm gonna put it in the D tier. It's actually, I'm gonna put it in the C tier, because break starter, in 5v5 and pro-am, gold is a bare minimum for a center, even with high passing, and Hall of Fame is actually preferred. So if you play 5v5 pro-am or rec, it's necessary. But if you play park, silver will be fine, and you'll be able to, you know, get easy buckets off a rebound if people don't get back on defense, or if you just have someone on your team that's just really good at running the break. Yeah, so clamp breaker, while it is definitely one of the most annoying badges to go against in the game, it's basically y'all cried about blow-bys in 2K18, but I don't see nobody crying about this badge. I mean, I'm sure somebody somewhere is crying about everything. But yeah, clamp breaker, just when you try to body somebody up, you can push them out the way. When somebody is chasing you from behind, coattailing you, it breaks their animation, and especially combined with slithery finisher, it makes for an easy run against even decent defense sometimes. If you wall up your opponent perfectly, you'll get a stop. But I'm gonna put it in the A tier, because it just happens so randomly sometimes, and at the worst possible time, if you don't perfectly cut off your defender, he just pushes you out the way and then damn near stuns you. It's really crazy what it does. Dimer. Now, I know I'm a lover of Dimer. I make high passing builds, but trust me, especially for the value that it has, you know, being a tier 1 badge for all point guards from 5'7" to 6'9", and how much of a boost it gives your teammates. When I play with my teammates, it lets them hit yellows. It's so important in the clutch when you're gonna have to pass to your teammates for the money, for the cheddar. Missing wide open for the cheddar? Me? Nah, not me. If you know, you know. Nah, make sure your teammates ain't missing for the cheddar. Run it as high as you can. If you have the extra badge points, you will not regret it, bro. If you run pick and pop, anything. If you are the primary handler and passer of the basketball on your team, you need to have this badge on, in my opinion, because there's too many full bars, too many random shot timings in this game. Any boost you can give your teammate. And I do feel like it makes catches a little better. Might just be me, but I do feel like it makes catches a little better. Floor general is of the similar ordeal. Although for some people, floor general will be S tier. For some, it'll be F tier. Because, you know, just depending on what tier you can run it on. And but if you can get a gold or Hall of Fame, it's obviously a great badge. It gives all your teammates +1 to all their offensive attributes, including offensive rebound. For each tier. So Hall of Fame is +4, Silver is +2, etc. And it's just a passive boost. You don't have to do anything for it. This is best if you're either running multiple point guards on one team, or if you're playing 5v5 as a point guard, because you're boosting a lot of people. For example, on 2s, it don't really make a whole lot of sense to boost your teammates' attributes by a little bit, unless, like I said, y'all are running 2 point guards, and then, you know, even when you don't pass them the ball, it's always boosting his stats. It's a solid badge, but like I said, for a primary playmaking perspective, I definitely put Dimer over it. The boost is just way more noticeable and big. Handles for days, automatic S tier. On every tier, it's solid, but you know what I'm saying? Most tall guards have it silver, and then most short guards have it gold. Haven't never seen nobody with this badge on Hall of Fame on at either gen, to be honest, because I think it requires like 99 ball control. I don't know how you would make a build that makes sense with that, but I'm sure someone somewhere has. Wasn't a good build though, but yeah, it just lets you dribble for longer without losing stamina, you know. And if you like to dribble, if you like to move around with the ball, it's very important, you know. Handles for days will activate on pretty much any type of move that you can do in this game, and on this game, the lower your stamina is, the harder it is to shoot and to finish around the rim, and your player starts running slower. So it's the easiest way to prevent yourself from being in a bad situation most of the time. Like, I don't see why any point guard wouldn't run this, even if you don't dribble much. When you speed boost, it lowers the amount of stamina you lose, and it lets you dribble. Once you learn how to actually combo up, it lets you dribble without losing your adrenaline. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to always use your adrenaline to run around. Handles for days can let you dribble standstill, and there's some combos you can do without activating your adrenaline bars. Hyperdrive. Now, start of the year, I was a hater of this badge, and I started playing guard on my 6-1. I still didn't use it, and I was not a believer, and I was struggling. The second I put this badge on, it's night and day. If you are a point guard that does dribble moves, which I assume hopefully is most of point guards out here, although that's not what I see on the game, but hopefully most of y'all watching this video are at least trying to do something. This badge makes all of your dribble moves give you double the space. It makes you actually speed boost off them, and if y'all want, I can make a video later showing y'all side by side like actual like quote unquote combos and dribble moves with hyperdrive and without. It's not even the same. This badge is quick first step. It is what killer combos is supposed to be when you're dribbling the basketball. It's insane. It just makes your player move. Like, when we're talking about movement, moving around the court, that's literally what hyperdrive is. It activates on almost all dribble moves, and like I said, makes you create so much more space from your opponent at a way quicker rate. There's no reason you shouldn't be using this if you don't dribble. If you dribble, I'm sorry. Killer combos. Now, this badge does not help you dribble quicker, but it does give you stuns off of size ups. I've seen people use on silver, on Hall of Fame, on gold. It does work, and when you're going against it, ankle braces helps a little bit against it, but not a lot. But then again, it is a very expensive badge on most builds, and people just don't have the badge points for it, especially on tall guards. And if you like to dribble a lot as a standstill, or if you know how to combo up and quickly activate it to try to get like a little tight handle stun, yeah, it's solid. But for most people, bro, you don't need it to dribble. So if you don't need the stun, then it's literally a waste of a badge for you. Mismatch Expert. Now, I won't say any badge is useless in this game, but given the fact that on any build where it makes sense, it is a tier 3. Like any short guard where it would even make sense to use it, it's a tier 3. All it does is it amplifies clamp breaker, and I think killer combos. I think it boosts these badges when there's a height difference. I've seen that happen in my team, and in a play now, that's the only places I've seen it pop up and actually activate, because nobody uses it anywhere else because they can't afford it. But yeah, I mean, like, it is a boost, but it's not worth a badge point on this game, let alone a tier 3 on next gen or whatever it costs for y'all on current gen. I know y'all don't got the points for this badge, so don't bother wasting your time with this badge. Some people swear by it. Some old heads in the rec probably don't bother, bruh. Needle Threader. Needle Threader, it's an annoying badge to play against. It's fun to play with. It lowers passing lane steal success, you know, just basically prevents your opponent from stealing the lane, and counters like things like Interceptor. And it has the higher the tier, the higher the chance it will stun your opponent. No matter who they are, it'll stun them and make them like do a little like Harlem Shake, you know what I'm saying? Well, when they're trying to play the lane, or they're just gapping off their defender, it makes them confused and it makes them unable to move. They have toned it down since the start of the year, but man, it is annoying to have somebody throw a pass and your player just gets frozen in quicksand. It's a free wide open bucket, and like I said, if you have the badge points for it and you like to throw aggressive passes and you're a passing player, definitely consider Needle Threader, maybe even over Dimer for some people, because it will guarantee a lot of open looks and it'll clean up a lot of your passing mistakes. Post Playmaker, when you're in the post or after an offensive rebound, it gives your teammates a shooting percentage boost. It's a similar boost to Dimer, but not that many people play out the post this year. Not that many people even crash the offensive glass. And yeah, so it doesn't have that much value, but I guess for somebody somewhere that's playing in that style, it's definitely a key badge. For example, on my post score, I do use it, but I don't play post that much anymore, and yeah, that's that. Quick first step. While it's not as impactful, it is still affecting the most annoying things in this game, which is doing the step back and running off of it, standing still, or quote unquote stop and go. When you stand still and then you just run off it, and you stop again and you run again off of it. It activates off of all dribble moves after you finish your combo and helps you run. Like if you dribble, if you move, if you triple threat, if you do anything on this game on the perimeter, quick first step is like your #1 first badge that you're always going to be putting on. That and Hyperdrive. Like I said, these 3 badges, every guard that dribbles the basketball should have handles, quick first step, and Hyperdrive, you know what I'm saying, on the maximum tier that you can, and then you worry about everything else. Flashy passer or special delivery, it helps you throw lobs. You can get some cool lob animations off the backboard. It also, when you flashy pass with Dimer on, it doesn't pop up. Now it might still give a boost, but it doesn't pop up. Flashy passer does say it gives a boost to people's shot percentages. So if you like the flashy pass a lot, which some flashy pass packages are great, and in some situations with a high pass, they're actually way better than the regular pass because your player doesn't turn around and throws it instantly. It's not that bad of a badge, but it's so niche, and people on this game just play in such a repetitive way that for the average player, it doesn't make any sense to run it. But I mean, it is there, and if you like to do any of the things I just listed, definitely put it on like at least something for you know what I'm saying, if you have the badge points to afford it. Unpluckable it used to be S tier, but you know, you can't rip nobody nowadays anyways, and you know, some people have 30 ball control, you can't rip them. Some people have 99 damn near ball control and you can rip them, and they get screwed over by the game. So Unpluckable, I mean, if you dribble the ball a lot, if you go against the lockdown, you don't have this badge, it's going to be a bad outing. If you do have this badge, some games it'll still be a bad outing. More often than not, you're not getting ripped on this game, especially if you run away from your opponent. Reaching is not an effective form of defense. Maybe it was in patch 1 or something, but not anymore. So I mean, just run it as a guard on at least something. Obviously, like the higher the better if you have the badge points for it. But you know, for like spot ups and stuff, you don't need to make a lockdown or a center with ball control and post control and worry about having Unpluckable to get ripped, which is what Vice Grip is for. While Vice Grip is not that useful of a badge, after a rebound or after a stop, it gives you a big immunity like boost and prevents you from getting ripped right away. So if that's something you struggle with, instead of having to go all out for a tier 3 of Unpluckable, you on a big build or something like that, you can just go for Vice Grip and it'll help you a lot. It'll protect the ball. And yeah, that's that for the tier list, man. Like I said, if y'all disagree or agree, let me know. Stay up, stay blessed, stay grinding, and I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. Peace.